In order to use the fighter verse this week, you must look at people. That's the challenge I'm giving myself, and the challenge I'm giving you is that everywhere you go this week, be sure to look at people. And our fighter verse for this week picks up from Sunday. It's Luke chapter 23, verse 34, a verse that we call the greatest statement in the Bible. And as you continue to look at it, it's really one of the first statements from the cross. As Jesus was nailed to that crossbeam and then lifted up and his feet nailed to that post, the first words out of his mouth as he looked at those Roman soldiers was, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And of course, the inscription that hung over his head said this in 3 different languages: "This is the King of the Jews." Jesus noticed people. He noticed people on the road to the crucifixion, and even as he was crucified, he looked at people. He noticed people. And the first words out of his mouth, a prayer, is this great statement. As he looked upon, again, those Roman soldiers, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And so as you go throughout your week, please be sure to look at people. And here's the thought that needs to run through our minds from our fighter verse. As you look at people, their greatest need far outweighs your greatest agony. And what is the greatest need of people? Is to know God. Is to get saved, is to know that Jesus is God and he is the Savior. The greatest need is the forgiveness of sins and to enjoy life eternal with Jesus. So I beg you, and I'm telling this to myself, everywhere you go, James, look at people. Their greatest need will always far outweigh your greatest agony. They need forgiveness. So I'll ask that you keep meditating upon Luke 23, verse 34, and keep in mind where we find these words. We find these words, some of the very first words, at the cross. And hanging over those words is this inscription: "This is the King of the Jews." This is our King. This is how our King thinks. This is how he thought. This is how he thinks. He always looked at people. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." And keep in mind what we drew out of that verse last week. Forgiveness is only for the guilty. And as Jesus said those words, and it's true, forgiveness is only for the guilty. As he said those words, he looked at a group of people that did not know. Here's a group of people that you could look at and say, they don't know. They don't even know what they're doing. And of course, what did we discover? Even those who do not know, even those that don't know that the way they're living is sinful, need forgiveness. And since that is true, even those who do not know, even those who do not know how they're living, even those that do not know what they're doing, the Bible looks at them, God looks at them and says, they're guilty. And it's because only the guilty need forgiveness. Forgiveness is only for the guilty. So keep looking at people this week with the reminder, the echo of Jesus' words. Their greatest need is forgiveness, and their greatest need will always far outweigh your greatest agony.